I gave an AI agent a company's tax records and books. It found 29 anomalies in 14 minutes, ranging from Benford Law violations to machine learning experiments, duplicate payments, section codes that don't match, vendors exist in Ledger but not in 26 years, and many, many more. Let me show you what it found, and I'll show you how I built it. So watch, it syncs the voucher data, so it directly imports data from Tally and a click of a button. So it can be from SAP and Oracle as well. But this client is Tally, so the agent only reads from Tally. So after this, then the agent runs. So as you can see, it takes a very little amount of time to do all the checks. So in the end, there are about some 29 observations. So it works in a 4-layer sequence. So reconciliation, pattern reduction, then we have IND-AS rules, and in the end, statistical tests. So about 29. So if you click on each, you'll be able to find, see there's a reconciliation difference here. Then there's identity pan mismatch. Note, we didn't spend a single minute in analyzing the transactions or looking through the data. The AI does everything. Now, going further, what I would like to bring to your notice is there are IND-AS points here. See, it's already drafted as well. So I'll tell you how this drafting also works. So in the end, if you see here, there's one ML pattern-based point here. So basically, Benford's Law. So on the plant and maintenance expense register. So if you see here, real companies don't have perfectly random first digits in their expenses. They follow a predictable curve. So when they don't, then something is wrong. If you see chi square value is 29.81 and p value is 0.0002. So that's not borderline, that's a statistical scream. Someone has been rounding off or fabricating or maybe splitting invoices below a approval threshold. So the math doesn't care why, it just flags the pattern. A human auditor would never catch this by scanning a register, but the agent found it under a second. Now going further, the data in requirement, the CS ledger, what and all were imported. Then as you can see there, all the things were done, 26 CS versus books, then isolation forest. These are all machine learning algorithms that were run on the data, then timing differences, then reconciliation findings, then also IND-AS. Every single IND-AS point, whichever is a non-compliance, has been reported here clearly. And in shorter terms, you can make it into more detailed observations by giving AI agent a more specific instruction, or you can do it on your own as well. So there are 3 layers, and none of them are just a prompt. The first one is the matching engine. So all fuzzy matching on party names, for example, Meridian Tech Components Private Limited versus Meridian Technologies. Same company, but a different string. So any score above 85 or between 70 and 85, flag for review. Then amount gets a tolerance bend. So plus or minus 50 rupees is a rounding mistake. It's not a real mismatch. So this is the first level. The second one is the rule layer. That is all the section codes, all accounting standards, all cross period checks. So these are not AI guesses. These are rules I wrote because I know what a senior reviewer actually checks for. Then the another layer is the pattern layer. This is what one actually thinks about. So it's isolation forest, Benford's law, duplicate payment deduction, split PO deduction. So multiple statistical tests running over the expense register. There is no prompting, it's just math against actual numbers. The first 2 layers actually do the work, but the third layer finds what a tired human misses. So finally, this is what is actually running. So this is the reader. So it's basically Python. So 26 AS and ledger exports with garbage banner rows sitting above the real header. So it scans the first several rows looking for real column names. So it doesn't care where the data actually starts. Additional to this reader, like I already mentioned, it works in correspondence with something called the matcher. So like I told you, party names are scored 0 to 100 from 2 signals. So the first word match and token order match. So that's what it catches the variance between Meridian Technologies and Meridian Components Private Limited. So wherever there's a word match, it can be 2 unrelated vendors, but that share a common word. The agent prompt. So this is the exact prompt I've given the agent. Now, what agent is used? Is it an offline agent so that the client data doesn't leave the server? Those all will come in the future videos. But from an understanding point of view, this is the point where all 3 layers have already done their job, and this isn't where the thinking happens. This is where the writing actually happens. So it turns the 3 separate JSON outputs into one memo the partner can actually read. So it categorizes findings, only cite a standard where it's relevant. Flag findings just show up in more than one layer because that's a stronger signal. So those types of instructions and rules have been given. So this agent doesn't actually guess, but the thinking happens upstream in the code. The prompt only writes up what the code has already found. And here is the output. So of all the agentic background work that has happened, this is the output data. So as per the verification of Form 26AS with the books of accounts for FY 25-26, the following discrepancies were noted. Summary table, every finding, everything is grouped. Conclusion ranking, what needs a partner's attention first, starting with the vendor that triggered Benford laws or any other ML algorithm check, and showed up in a reconciliation mismatch. This entire memo is raw data to formatter output in under 15 seconds. 14 seconds to be precise. To be very clear, this is not a finished audit opinion. It is not replacing a partner's judgment. It is like a first pass tool that does the grunt work and tells you where to look. So this is what separates someone who just does the work from someone who builds systems.